We all think we have a type. Maybe it's tall and outdoorsy. Maybe it's the witty bookworm. Maybe it's someone with an unnerving ability to fold fitted sheets. Whatever the list looks like, we treat it as if it's set in stone. But what if your type isn't destiny? What if it's more like clay, malleable, rewritable, and shaped by experience? That's exactly what a new study in the Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin found. Researchers didn't just ask people about their romantic preferences, they actually rewired them. And the result tells us a lot about how attraction, perception, and relationship satisfaction really work. Why do we care so much about types? In relationship psychology, ideal partner preferences are a big deal. We say we want kindness, intelligence, ambition, or physical attractiveness. Decades of research shows these ideals are tied to relational satisfaction, commitment, and even whether couples go the distance. But here's the snag. Just because someone says they value kindness or ambition doesn't mean they'll actually pick it up in the wild. Real life attraction is famously messy. Your list says tall, dark, and handsome, but your heart falls for a funny freckle guy who keeps a compost pile. That mismatch has fueled years of debate. Do ideals truly guide our choices? Or do we just bend them to fit the partner we already chose? Now, here's the clever experiment they had to test attraction. Researchers Alina De Silva Frost and Paul Eastwood created DateFest, a gamified dating simulation. In the first study, they invented a nonsense word called retitry to describe youthfulness and baby-facedness. In the second study, they dropped that disguise. They just called the trait youthfulness. Participants, all attracted to men, all in relationships, were shown photos of potential partners and asked if they hypothetically date them. The game was secretly rigged so that people high in the target trait led to the better outcomes. In other words, the game taught participants to value that trait more. And after the game, the researchers measured what was the motivated projection. Do you see any more of this trait in your current partner? Was there any preference matching? Are you more satisfied if your partner seems to match your ideals? Were there perceiver effects? Do you see the trait everywhere in friends, maybe even in yourself? Or was it a situation selection? Are you more likely to enter spaces where people already have that trait? So here's what happened. Two big effects stood out. Motivated projection. The study subjects started seeing more of the valued trait in their partners. In other words, once they learned to prize youthfulness, suddenly their partner looks more youthful. That's not magic, that's the mind reshaping perception. The other thing they saw was situation selection. The study subjects showed more interest in environments like a dating site filled with people high in that trait. Now, the other theories like preference matching didn't get so much support on this. In other words, our types don't seem to matter. Well, not in the way we think, at least. They don't function really like shopping lists. They really act like lenses that change how we see our partner and as a steering wheel that guides us towards certain social situations. So, how ideals reframe traits. Youthfulness shifts from immature or childlike to energetic and vibrant. And once you value a trait, you're more likely to describe it positively. Here's the takeaway from all this. Pick your lens. Understand that what we value, we see. If you only focus on flaws, that's what fills your inner screen. Experiment with valuing humor, curiosity, or resilience in a partner and see how that shifts in what you notice. Reframe, don't deny. Traits have multiple interpretations. Choose the ones that build connection, but don't sugarcoat any harm. Design your environment. If you want more playfulness, don't wait for it to show up in your living room. Join a dance class, play games, cook something messy. Ideals thrive where they're well fed. And loosen up the checklist. Attraction is more about lived experience than static lists. Pay attention to how safe, seen, and understood you feel, not whether your potential partner meets every must have or checks every box. A couple of FAQs here. Can your type really change? Yeah, your type is flexible, just like your life experience is. Do people grow into their partners? Very often they do. Ideals can bend to match the partner you've already chosen, especially if you're already inclined to see them positively. Is it a bad thing to idealize your partner? Not necessarily. Positive illusions can stabilize relationships, but eventually you're going to have to sort of balance idealization with reality and see your partner's flaws more realistically. Does having a list of traits you admire work? Lists are fine, but don't expect them to predict real chemistry. Relationships lived in the real world are real messy, they're real curious, and they're not really often found in bullet points. In other words, attraction isn't a fixed script, it's more like jazz, improvisational, adaptive, shaped by what we value in the moment and how we're choosing to see it right now. I hope this was helpful for you. Be well, stay kind, and Godspeed. Hi, this is marriage and family therapist Daniel Dashnaw. I really appreciate your support, and I love writing my blog and talking about research and how it impacts our daily lives with the times that we're living in. And I'm pleased to announce something right now that I've never really done before, which is you can now basically give me micro donations on Cash App, PayPal, and buy me a coffee. And if you do this on a monthly basis, you're going to get some insights and some thoughts on private blog posts I'm not putting on the regular blog post. So once again, micro donations are now available through Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee, and PayPal. If you're a regular monthly contributor, you'll get even more Daniel Dashnaw and a deeper dive with Daniel if you're so inclined. Be well, stay kind, and Godspeed, and thanks for your support.